Salutations everybody, it is Matty here, and I shall be focusing on the Division 2 for today's video. I enjoyed my time with the first Division, but it was not without its flaws. So I would like to talk about 4 things I feel that this game can easily improve upon in its sequel that's coming up and will be revealed at this year's E3. I'd love to hear your suggestions on how the Division 2 can improve in the comments down below. And now let's get started with what I feel was one of the best parts of the game, but also what failed me the most, the Dark Zone. There were balance issues, there was content issues. The Dark Zone was easily the most enjoyment I had with the title, but it felt so short-lived. I feel the Dark Zone needed objectives, things to do out there, which I believe was added in future DLC. But I'm talking about the base game here. As the game's life went on and there were tweaks to rewards you received within the Dark Zone, it just became something that wasn't worth investing in. Eventually that entire area died out and no one really went in there and played. Ubisoft needs to work on 2 things. A, encouraging players to get in there and risk themselves, and also supply the content and intriguing storytelling that that universe can offer to make the Dark Zone ultimately more appealing. But that leads me to one of my other adjustments I feel this game needs to make, and this is a mistake a lot of video games make nowadays, especially Ubisoft games, the over-reliance on audio log storytelling. The Division was loaded up with audio logs, text files, and none of the storytelling came through cutscenes, through character interaction, or the world itself. It was just picking up random audio logs and hearing interactions with people. And sometimes those audio logs were actually very good. So don't get me wrong there, but I feel storytelling has advanced past the days of BioShock and picking up the audio tapes, listening to them, and getting a feel for the world. The Division solely relied on that to flush out its world, and in turn I feel it did it a disservice because there were no characters to interact with. And I think that this way of storytelling would be okay if it wasn't the sole way to obtain information on certain factions, where if Ubisoft put their strongest foot forward, made some interesting factions that made me want to read some of these text files and made me want to dig deep into the Division's universe, then it might be a whole other story. With that said, the Division 2 is revealing itself at E3 2018, which means we must avoid the E3 blunder. This is one of the E3 reveals that plagued this title. I think it drew a lot of negative attention its way because Ubisoft had such a drastic transformation of the title itself between its announcement and the launch of it. So I hope that if they are revealing it, they are doing it because it is ready to go. They have the vision in place. It is absolutely not changing. It turns off gamers when they see a complete drastic transformation. Ubisoft has been better with this. I'd argue that they're one of the more improved AAA studios over the last couple of years, but I think it goes without saying due to their reputation. And the last thing I want to focus on is the boss fights. They need to be way less spongy. If I'm fighting, for example, a helicopter in the sky, it makes sense that it would take 1,000,000 of my bullets. But when I'm fighting a key figure in the game and he takes 40 different rounds from my max level AR, I simply can't get behind that or immersed in the universe because it's just annoying. I know spongy bosses can be argued they're intense because you have to work as a team to really chip them down, but we're even in the Division where the AI was kind of wonky and sometimes wouldn't attack you right away. I'd have a full team unloading clips into the bosses, and it simply wouldn't be enough. The damage balancing I don't feel was that great, and so I do hope this is another mechanic in the game that does improve. But those are just 4 things I feel could improve in the Division 2. I'd love to hear once again your suggestions in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.